Defensive options in 2x KO are a holy trifecta. We have parry, retreating guard, and in this video, push block. I'm going to go through the entire cast and show you a pretty good place that you can push block their block strings. However, before we get started, we need to know a couple things about how push block works. Depending on how early or late in block stun you push block will change how advantageous you or the enemy is. If you push block really early in block stun, then typically you are at an advantage. If you push block really late, then typically the enemy is at an advantage. And this can create some true block strings for them. So for instance, if Blitzcrank does light, medium, heavy into his S1 rocket grab, that is usually not a true block string. But if you push block the heavy pretty late in the block stun, then it becomes a true block string and actually kind of punishes your push block and pulls you right back into him, into his win condition. Secondly, is you need to consider how far away the block string is pushing you. In the example of Ahri, which is coming up first, if she does light, medium, heavy, and then Foxfire Blast, if you push block the heavy, then the Firefox Blast completely whiffs. But if she just goes light and then medium into Foxfire Blast and you push block the medium, then the Foxfire Blast will reach you. So take into consideration how far the block string is pushing you away from the enemy, and then add that to how far away the push block goes. So in this sense, push block is typically more of a return to neutral tool, but in this video, I want to focus on very common and habitual block strings that enemies will do, and when to push block them to get the punish. The idea is that you get a read on the opponent on what they like to do, and then push block a specific move, which makes the next move completely whiff, leaving you at an advantage and in most cases able to punish. So let's start out with Ahri. She has her S2, Wild Flares, that does 3 hits, and she can cancel this into her Foxfire Blast. What I want you to do is push block the very first hit of this, which leaves her far enough away that if she does do the Foxfire Blast, like I said before, it completely whiffs, you can jump over it and get a punish if you're fast enough. Even if she doesn't cancel this into her Foxfire Blast, it still leaves you in a pretty good place. You don't want Ahri on top of you where she can call an assist and then start mixing you. Next is Blitzcrank, and I'm going to say push block pretty much any of his normal moves. You want him as far away from you as possible because when he's up close, strike throwing you, that's his win condition, and you want to take that away from him. Also, he doesn't really have a way to close the distance. Instead, he tries to bring you to him with his hook, and since push block is unreactable, he has to do a hard read on when you will push block to pull you back in. So vary your timing against Blitz, which leaves him guessing and never really sure when to throw out hook. Braum is the same as Blitzcrank in a way, fairly weak to push block, and he must call it out with his charged S2. However, he has to hard read you just like Blitz, and when you block the charged S2, you are plus. Of course, he can call an assist to cover for him, so vary your timing just like with Blitz. I want you to push block Darius on the first hit of his S2. If he swings a second S2, then it completely whiffs and leaves you at over 1/3 of a second in advantage. Remember, Darius does not have to throw out the second S2, but even then, it's nice to get him off of you. On Ekko, I want you to push block the S2. If he follows up with another S2, then it leaves him in your face and you can get an easy punish. Do it too early and he will be close enough to make you block the follow-up. Do it too late and he will be too far away for the punish. So this one might take a little bit of practicing and fine-tuning to find the right timing. On Illaoi, push block her heavy attack. If she goes into her low or overhead, then they both completely whiff. However, the tentacle slam can true block string here, but I still think it's better for you as you will return to neutral. The reason I say heavy attack and not another normal is because heavy attack is the only time that she can true string into her low, so she prefers to do it in this situation. But if you notice the enemy Illaoi is going into these options before her heavy, start push blocking those instead. Jinx does this S1 Gatling gun that she can cancel into the rocket or into her zap gun. The goal here is to make her whiff the Gatling gun entirely, and this is going to be block string dependent. If she starts her string early from medium into heavy and then Gatling gun, then you need to push block the Gatling gun early on in its animation. This ensures that the end of the Gatling gun whiffs. If you push block the heavy attack, then Gatling gun is close enough to still make you block. If her block string is longer and pushes you away, then push block the heavy attack and the entire Gatling gun will whiff. Keep in mind she can cancel her Gatling into rocket or zap at any point on block or on whiff. But if you avoid the Gatling gun entirely and jump over it, then if she chooses to cancel into rocket or zap early, you probably jump over that as well and get the punish. Teemo is a little bit tricky, not because he has anti-push block moves, but because push blocking puts you at a distance which is his win condition. He wants you far away from him where he can ping you down with his rock and set up a lot of his shrooms. However, there is one point, and that is his third dart. Typically, he is following up with a down medium to close the distance here because he wants to make you block more, or if the darts hit, he's going to autopilot into down medium to close the distance and combo. If you push block the first or second dart, then you actually are forced to block the third one, wait for the third dart, push block, and he will completely whiff the down medium. Vise is pretty straightforward. Anytime she goes into her footwork light or medium, push block that. If you push block light and she follows up with medium, or if you push block medium and she follows up with heavy, both are punishable. And in both cases, she advances more towards you, so it makes for one of the easier punishes on this list. For Warwick, push block his charged leap. He can frame trap into the charged leap off of his mediums, and it makes a pretty advantageous situation for him because he can grab you, he can cross you up, and he can cover it with an assist so that you are unable to down heavy him. Regardless of what option Warwick chooses after the leap, you are able to punish it. If he does medium, then he's far enough away that you can just run in and get the punish. If he does heavy, same story. The only way that Warwick can stick to you and potentially punish you is if you push block too late and he goes into the light follow-up, which is a true block string at this point. But if you push block the leap really early, then it's no longer a true block string and you can actually down heavy this light follow-up. And remember, he cannot block during this leap, so if he chooses to do nothing, it actually just puts him right into your loving embrace for an easy punish. With Yasuo, I want you to push block his S1, Hasagi. Typically, Yasuo's go into this after a heavy attack. At this distance, when push blocked, all of Yasuo's stance follow-ups cannot reach you. His cross-up no longer crosses up and instead puts him right in front of you for an easy punish. His heavy no longer reaches and leaves you able to punish him. His down heavy, same story because you're not jumping, you're push blocking and it just completely whiffs. So the only real way for Yasuo to get out of this is to go into stance after the S1 and then not throw out a move at all, which just leaves you both at neutral and totally fine. Remember what I said about the block string pushing you a certain distance away and adding that on to the push block distance. If Yasuo goes light into S1 or medium into S1, then he doesn't get pushed far enough away, and if you push block Hasagi, then he can stance, go into heavy, and it reaches you. But yeah, as a Yasuo main, I'm kind of remiss to tell you this, but if he strings into his heavy and then Hasagi, push block that. It gets him off of you, gets him away from mixing you, and makes it pretty difficult for him to follow up. And as a bonus, I know a lot of you have a hard time with this guy. If you push block Yasuo's heavy move, then he really can't follow up with anything either. Sometimes he likes to do his held forward S1 cross up, and that will completely whiff and leave him right in front of you for an easy punish. Remember that push block pushes the enemy away from you, not the other way around. So if you are facing the corner and you push block them, they have nowhere to go, meaning their follow-up moves might not whiff on you and could continue to make you block or even hit you if you try to act out of it. So try to use push block when your back is to the corner or when you are mid-screen. When you're facing the corner, parry or retreating guard might be the better option. Alright guys, that's it. Keep in mind that push block is not an end-all be-all defensive option. You really have to use it smartly. And there are a couple ways to counter the push block, like you saw with Blitzcrank or Yasuo, but the most consistent way is to call an assist. Push block only pushes the enemy that you are currently blocking. So if they have a feeling that you're going to push block, or if you just push block at the wrong time, you push block the enemy, but the assist is right on top of you. And remember, in some situations after push blocking, it is their turn. So if they handshake tag to that assist, it's their turn in your face. So keep that in mind. Even though there are counters, it's still a very strong tool to have in your arsenal. If you only ever parry, then you're exploitable. If you only ever push block, you're exploitable. Same thing with retreating guard. You want to be able to use all of these options at the right time. I might make a video in the future on how to counter push block with every character, but a lot of that could just revolve around call your assist at the right time. But if you would like to see that, tell me in the comments down below and I will get started on a script. Lastly, a little bit of self-promotion here is I do stream daily on YouTube and Twitch, 6 p.m. Eastern time. My streams revolve a lot around helping new players understand the game as well as helping lab out their questions. So if you have a question that you can't quite lab out, come in the stream, ask me, I'll hop into training and show you. In that same sense, I also started coaching. All of my courses are on Medify, which you can find in the link down below or just in my about section on YouTube. So if you like my videos and my beginner-friendly explanations, then you might really benefit from some one-on-one coaching. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Have fun out there. Adios.